All right, family. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarasu said he kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. We got a powerful one today, family. Does ancient Kemet means the black land or the black peoples? We're gonna end this controversy today. Want y'all in the house. This has been up for dispute. I don't know why. People running from the truth, but we're gonna seal the deal today. Glad you're here. Before we get started, family, I want to make sure you get on over to Patreon. We got that fire going down, with the Shabaka Stone, one of the great scientific, spiritual, cosmological documents of ancient Egypt, brought forth by the great Nubian Pharaoh Shabaka during the 25th dynasty, where he recopied this cosmological document of the creation of the universe by the great black god Ptah, and it's very deep. And much of what science is using today to come up with all this Big Bang and creation story comes from this earlier scientific cosmology up out of the Nile Valley. I want you to get over there and get that work, family. Patreon, the link is right there at the top of the chat. Also, kingseti.com online marketplace, official General SETI products, DVDs, t-shirts, and hoodies. You can also become a member of the YouTube page, General SETI, Sarasu SETI, gain access to a lot of exclusive material, and get a video a thumbs up, family. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. Comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because you will get banned. That's right, family. Now, we're going to be talking about today, and see, this is what's not being talked about. You see what I'm saying? We got the documents, to black it up. That Khnum, see, this is what's key, and a lot of people run from that. Does Kemet mean the black land or the black people? The answer to the question is that it means both. Okay, it means both, because you can see that man hand is on top, and Kim means black. Okay, it means black. But what is not being talked about is that the great Nubian god of creation, Khnum, and a lot of people don't want to bring Khnum up. Dr. Ben used to talk about that. Certain deities that they don't like bringing up because they southern deities. And the fact is that the creator god of ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, Khnum, was a Nubian god. And we can black that up. Okay? And we will black that up. But anyway, let's deal with this. Matter of fact, I had another matter of fact, let me get that up there. Let me get that up there. This document on Khnum. But anyway, let's before I even get started, I mean, we got to look at who Khnum. Khnum is, first and foremost. Let's deal with this. A lot of people don't want to deal with it, but we're gonna deal with it today. We're gonna deal with it today. We're gonna look at because all the gods got their principal city. You feel what I'm saying? All the gods got and goddesses got a principal city. You feel what I'm saying? But let's look at it now. I'm gonna have to take that out right quick. Now, as crazy as it is, Khnum, the creator god who molded African man and woman on the potter's wheel, come from Elephantine. Okay? It could be. You see, Elephantine, which is an island in Aswan, in the city and area of Aswan, sitting right there in the middle of the river. Sitting in the middle of the Nile River. Matter of fact, the god of Memphis was Ptah. The god of Memphis was Ptah. That's who Memphis was named after Ptah, the great god Ptah. But so when we go down to Elephantine Island, we'll see that matter of fact, the patron god, because you got nomes. Matter of fact, let me get the nomes up. Let me get the nomes up. Okay, now nomes in ancient Egypt was districts, and it was over 42 districts. So as you can see, the very first nome, which is Taseti, and you see elephant in that nome, the patron god was Khnum. Okay, so we got to be clear about who Khnum is, and so we're not under any misunderstandings, and that the triad, the trinity of Khnum and Satet and what was his wife? Anuket. You see Satet and Anuket, and see the thing is that's Set. You see when they say Satet, that's Set. You know that Khnum was also very closely connected to Set, which you get the term Taseti. Now, a lot of people gonna tell you that it means the bow and all of that. You see, because they want to get away from the fact that Taseti, the supreme god of Taseti, was Set. You understand what I'm saying? Do you mean to tell me that's all they could get out of that? They, you hear the term Taseti, but nobody wants to deal with the fact that the Nubian god Set is the supreme god, and that's why Set was became vilified, because they vilified the Nubians. You see what I'm saying? They vilified the Nubians, and then they vilified a lot of the deities that come up out of Nubia. Okay, so when you listen, so you got Satet, we're gonna bring that up, which is, I believe, was his daughter. Let me get that in. Let me get in. I'm gonna get right on in, and we're gonna work it out, and then we're gonna black it up. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll just continue with my password. Okay. Okay, let's go in here. Okay, Khnum. And here, okay, I got it up. Let me bring it up. Okay. Now, up in there, now, did Khnum create man with the mud of the Nile? I put it in there. And so this is what it says. It says Khnum and the creation of humanity. In Egyptian theology, a matter of fact, let me get this powerful picture up here so y'all can see. And you see Khnum right there, molding man on the potter's wheel. It says in ancient theology, Khnum was a creator god strongly associated with the Nile's inundation, the flood, fertility and life, and divine craftsmanship. Khnum's role was very literal and physical. How Khnum created humans. Listen, Egyptian texts, not Seti, I'm just bringing you the truth. Egyptian texts and temple reliefs describe Khnum as forming humans on a potter's wheel using Nile clay, mud, silt as the raw material. So now we getting to something now, because it was called Kemet because of the black mud and silt, the fertilizer that come down the Nile during the flood from Ethiopia. This is why it was called Kemet. But at the same time, that very same mud, that black mud, was also what Khnum used to mold man and woman on the potter's wheel. So when the question comes up, whether it is referring to the land, is Kemet the land, or is it the people? It's both. It means both. You see, because the people are of the land. They were mold. That's why they say they of the land. We don't know of no other land. You never heard of the Egyptians saying, they say they of the land. Okay. Now, what's crazy about it, even though we say, oh, this is Kemet, the damn silk is all up and down the Nile. You know, it's just more piled up in Egypt. But that same black mud, when the Nile flood, it was all from Ethiopia into Sudan all the way down into Kemet. It wasn't just black mud in Kemet. It was black mud all throughout the Nile Valley at that time, because it just flooding, and it's bringing everything, the mud, and right up out of the highlands of Ethiopia. So using Nile clay, mud, silk, or what they call kim, as the raw material, shaping not only the physical body, but also the ka, life force, the spiritual double. So and I seen it myself. I seen when I went to Dendera. I went to Dendera, and right there what they call the Mamisi. Okay, the Mamisi is the birthing house of the god. You see, and at Dendera, that birthing house was the birthing house of Horus. You see, the birthing house of Horus, and right out on the wall, you will see Khnum molding. And matter of fact, it's in the main temple too. It's in the main temple where you see Khnum a molding man on the potter's wheel, and then you got the frog goddess who's taking the ankh, and you can see the ankh being placed. So that's the feminine and the masculine. And so the goddess, I think her name is Hequet. I think it's Hequet, the frog goddess. You can see her taking an ankh, placing it as Khnum molds man on the potter's wheel. Yeah. You can see the frog goddess placing the ankh in giving the body life. You see, giving the body life. And so we see this. You see, we see this. And so this is why you see that at the very, because it's the life force. That's why when you see majority of the gods, they black, and we're gonna talk about that, but we're gonna stick to this. And so now, what's crazy that the Bible, in its own little esoterical way, they at that period in time, they was releasing some information. They didn't understand the depths of it at that time because they hadn't been in Egypt yet. You see, they hadn't, they hadn't been into the chemical, but the chemical, the basis of all chemicals is melanin. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing preceded the blackness. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing preceded the blackness. So all chemicals, all elements, you see what I'm saying, come up out of the blackness. Nothing preceded the blackness of creation. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the source of all things. That's why almond, the black, is hidden, but it's not just hidden. He's cloaked in blackness. This is what it means. Not just it is hidden, cloaked in blackness. Amen, the great God that everybody in their prayers with. And it's not a coincidence. We're gonna be talking about that too. But when we talk about Ham, we're gonna get on that because they tend to run from that. When you talk about Ham, who is, and this is key. This is key, and a lot of people, when they talk about Ham, which is also calm or charm, and you can see that in the dictionary, they run it from it now. They saying, because you could see Ham in many biblical dictionary, and I looked it up in AI, and they admitted that it was many biblical dictionaries that said that Ham, who was the supposed father of the African tribes in the Bible, meant black. But they say they didn't know what they was talking about at that time. Said they didn't know what they was talking about. Yes, they did, put that in there, but they didn't know what they was talking about. See, and so this is what you're going to have. They're going to always, when you become conscious of a certain fact, they're going to go in there and rewrite the story. Well, we was wrong. You know what I'm saying? They're just like here it is. You got all these Greeks, and we got tons of material. It ain't like it's no one damn document. It's tons of material where you got early Greeks, Romans, and all of these people that say the Egyptian, but you know, somehow they could go back in time and go into somebody's consciousness and tell you what they meant, and they lived damn near 3,000. You can't let nobody do that. You know, Dr. Clark said, I'm just saying that the man could see. We don't have to get all the man saw a black man. That's what it was. You see what I'm saying? But they want to make it, everything is allegorical and this, that, and the third. But when we talk about Ham, who supposedly the father of ancient Egypt, you see it means burnt, swarthy, and black. So in the Bible, the nation of Egypt is named after an individual. The blackness is an individual. It's not the land. It's the land, but it's also an individual, and that's where they slipped up. You see right there, Ham or Cham, which is also Kham, black, burnt, swarthy, black. You see, and so you know you get down there and almost at the bottom it says Ham was the father of Cush, and people don't understand that even today, Cush in the what they call the Orthodox, the Ashkenazi Jew, they use Cush as a derogatory term for nigger. You see, you go off into the Talmud, the holy books of the Ashkenazi Jew, and they say Canaan was a Negro. So here it is. You got two brothers, and this is coming from white Judaism. And when you bring this up, they had to just get on one of them rabbis over there because he called one of the black, somebody black over in Israel, called him a nigger, called him Cushy, and they got on his head about that. And he was the chief rabbi. And you know what they argument was? The man, that when they got on that man, you know what that man, his secretaries told, the press all around the world? He said, well, he was quoting out of the Talmud. You can't get on him. He's quoting out of the Talmud, which is the word of God. You see, which is the word of God. So you got to understand. So, they had already identified ancient Egypt as being Negro. They never considered it a part of no European fold or no Semitic fold. They never did that. That's why when you go, Egypt is always cursed. The 10 plagues of Egypt and, and the killing of the first. They wouldn't have done that if that was their own people. Every nation in the Bible that's attributed to blackness is cursed, whether it's Ham, whether it's Canaan, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Cush, all of the African tribes are cursed. That's just all it is to it. So, that's key that we go into the Bible and understand that, that Ham, which is and Egypt is called the land of Ham. So if you go into this dictionary and you see that Ham or Cham is burnt, swarthy, and black, and Egypt was called the land of Ham, then that right there is proof positive that they understood that Egypt was a black land, people-wise. This is Ham, this is an individual. So they understood that they were referring to the people also. You see, yeah, Curse, you already know, right? We cursed. You see what I'm saying? There ain't no goddamn curse. That's a blessing. You feel what I'm saying? That's a blessing. But anyway, that's a blessing. So, it's a couple more visuals I want to drop. You see? So now let me get that. I think this is up right here. Did I put that one in there already? So we have to understand again that Khnum. Now let me put this in here. This is also, I need to add this one in. Okay, so now I put that in there because they're showing you the Nile when it flood. You see how dark brown now, it's black before it went into into the water. But see, that's the Nile, when it starts to flood, you can see how dark brown it is. You see what I'm saying? And then you take a picture, you look up at that picture at Amenhotep III, and you can see it's the same color as the river. You see, you're not gonna make me believe that these people understood all this, and they not. When we look at a lot of what you see in ancient Egypt, it's been tampered with. I mean, it don't take no rocket scientist to understand that. You can't come after no damn 3,000 years of all type of plunderers and shit. And the crazy thing about it is damn near every I don't care which one it is, damn near every statue out of ancient Egypt, either the nose and lips is not, they didn't destroy every statue. Now, you ain't gonna make me believe that if them statues look like Europeans, they would have done that much damage. You can go into Greece, you can go into Rome, and they do not have the pillaging and plundering of a lot of their artifacts like ancient Indian. They don't have that many. But when you go and you go into their museums and shit, if the statue fall over and the arm break off or something, but they got a lot of statues with still got the face intact and shit. Damn near from even the Great Sphinx, which is almost, I don't know how many, 20 feet tall. That means you had to climb up there or they shot it off. It ain't just gonna fall off. Somebody went up there and deliberately destroyed the face of the Sphinx. So when you look at all of these statues, and you understand what I'm saying, you can see that they've been delivered. Now, as much effort as Europeans are going through to try to recreate some white Egyptians, if they was already looking white, you think they would have destroyed them? That would have been all the evidence that they ever needed. Look at these. But why is it that all the statues got the nose and the lips knocked off of them? Come on, man. I mean, if you got if you got a few cents upstairs, put it to work. You feel what I'm saying? Don't take much, you understand, to figure that one out. You see? Yeah, it don't take. So you can see right there, Khnum used the mud of the Nile to, and here you can even look at this one. It's dark brown. So ain't no way you gonna make me believe that the Egyptians who believed in Khnum from the top to the bottom did not understand, the psychology of Khnum molding man and woman from the dark mud of the Nile and gonna come out what? What color they gonna come out? Let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop the nonsense. The facts is, and so they know this, that Khnum used the mud of the Nile. But why isn't this being told? You know why? And you know why? Because Khnum is a Nubian god. He's the patron god of the first known me. Taseti. What is Taset? Nubia. He's the patron god of Nubia, and his wife and his daughter got Set and the Anu people who was followers of Set. Yeah, they don't want to bring that up. And so the Egyptians and the Nubians look to Khnum as the creator of human beings, Africans. You see, so I'm very clear on that note that when we say what does Kemet mean, Kemet means the land and the people, because the people were of the land. The Egyptians did not believe that they came from any other area other than Egypt itself. That's what they believe, even though they understood that that the Nile, and they consider all of the Nile as a part of what you call when you call a coalition of states. That's what it is. No different than when you look at Britain and you look at the United States and you look at Canada and you look at New Zealand. All of these is, even though they're individual states, they all come up from up under Great Britain. You see, that's a coalition of British nations that broke off from the mother country, which was Britain. And then you got Canada, you got United States, you got Australia, you got New Zealand, and no different in the Nile, that they broke off from the mother nation, which was the southern nations. And now you got Khnum, you got Oxum, you got Nubia upper and lower, you got Egypt upper and lower, including Canaan was also included in a part of that coalition. The Bible included them in that coalition, that they were of one bloodline. You see what I'm saying? So family, we do some more research on that. That can be easily and matter of fact, I think I should put that in there, because it also says the Nile silk was not symbolic fluff. It was the source of life in Egypt. So there wasn't just no up, this was a dynamic creation story. See, listen what it says. This is the AI. Annual floods deposit fertile black earth, and they call it Kemet. Crops, animals, civilization depended on it. Human beings made from Nile mud, humans being children of the land. See, that's what people not talking about. General bringing that out. And I ain't too much heard nobody mention that, but I wanted to bring, so we understand the implementations of what we're speaking of when we talking about Kemet, and whether it means the soil or it means the people. Okay, this ties directly to Egypt calling itself Kemet, the black land. So it's not just the land, it's the people. The people in the land is one. Okay, and it says, okay, but this goes deeper and deeper into Khnum. This goes, and it says Mesopotamian myths where humans were made from clay plus divine essence. So this is where you really get it from. This is where you get it from. So family, do the research, go back and look it up. Check out Khnum, check out where Khnum is, where he originates from, the area of Egypt where he's the patron god. That's Aswan. I was on Elephantine Island. You see what I'm saying? And that was Nubian stronghold. Okay, so let's get down to the get down. If we're gonna do this shit, let's be real about it. All right, family. I'll see y'all in a minute. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on. Get over there to Patreon, family. We got that Shabaka Stone jump off over there. It's gonna be nothing but serious work. Come on over there and get it, and I'll see you in a minute. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom. Black power.